So in this segment, we're going to be talking about some of the fallout from the Meghan Markle and Prince Harry interviews. I should say Princess Meghan. Really, you have to be respectful. I don't care about the royal family, but I don't know them well enough to talk about them this way. So we're going to talk about some fallout and some of the kind of meltdowns we've seen as the media, members of the media get called out on their coverage of what's happened. So you can see it's pretty contentious in the Good Morning Britain studio. We can cut to a couple videos and then we'll get to the main one in a minute, which is hilarious. It builds up in terms of funniness, but this one isn't that funny. This one's more kind of harassy. Shows Piers Morgan's a bit dodgy, to be honest. I think the person involved in this one should put a complaint about this one.
Written at 6:31 on Tuesday. We've all watched it now. Although my eyes were slightly distracted this morning because apparently summer has arrived, which I wasn't aware of. But this first sign of spring is normally, what is it? The cuckoos? What is it? Is it the cuckoos for spring? But the first sign of summer, traditionally at Good Morning Britain, has always been Charlotte Hawkins arriving in a miniskirt for work. And this morning, here she
I mean, she's taken completely by surprise by this. It's very embarrassing.
is. I forget.
It's a dress.
I forget.
It's just a dress. What?
I mean, look, I'm not going to show you any more of that, but it's pretty dodgy there. That feels kind of harassy and kind of, give us a twirl, love. Kind of sounds a bit like that. So, it gets pretty contentious.
Also wants
This is all on the
to
same day.
promote the monarchy. Because if the media doesn't promote the monarchy slowly dies out.
So that's really important because what he's saying there is if the media doesn't promote and defend the monarchy, I'm adding that word, by the way, but if the media doesn't promote the monarchy dies out. Why? Because people stop caring about it. And that's something we'll be talking about in a few minutes with regards to Prince William. But, Piers Morgan just said it straight up. Without the media backing the monarchy dies out. So that's the only way to kill the monarchy, basically, is to turn the media.
Okay.
Monarchies have died out all over Europe.
Yeah, and it's great. I'd rather live in a republic, to be honest. The monarchy served no purpose apart from taking money from people.
Alex, yes.
Well, hang on. I'm going to come to Alex in a sec.
Okay.
Or drama.
All right, I'll wait.
Well.
Would you
I'll wait.
mind waiting?
Well, actually, I don't know, no. Carry on.
To you, mate. I was just going to...
I was going to make the point, Alex, that something very different happened with Prince Harry was that he
also wants to...
Okay, now we go to the real clip here, man. This is the real deal, fam. This is the real deal right here. Piers Morgan. I'm not going to ruin it for you. I don't want to spoil it.
They have had an overwhelming amount of negative press. I watched the programme yesterday, and yes, they had some great press around the wedding, but what press is going to trash someone's special day? There was bad press around the engagement, before the engagement, and everything that has followed since has been incredibly damaging, quite clearly, to Meghan's mental health.
We've talked about that before. I've done side-by-side headlines showing that, she did the exact same things in some areas that Kate did, and everyone's like, oh, how dare Princess Meghan do this? Oh.
And also to Harry. And I hear Piers say that, William has gone through the same thing. But do you know what? Siblings experience tragedy in their life, and one will be absolutely fine and brush it off, and the other will not be able to deal with it so strongly. And that...
He's talking about, obviously, the death of their mother, Princess Diana. I think that, obviously, William, as the older brother, may have had to, put on a braver face than Harry, the younger brother, in that situation. That might be why he's kind of not been as public with his, despite, kind of hatred of the media, if he does hate the media at all. I don't know the geezer personally like that. But I think as the older brother, you kind of do have to put on a brave face there. But at the same time, he hasn't done much to protect his younger brother, Harry. So, it's a tough one.
That's clearly what has happened with Prince Harry in this situation. He walked behind his mother's coffin at a tender age in front of the globe. That is going to shape a young boy for the rest of his life. So I think that we need to all take a step back. And I understand that you don't like Meghan Markle. You've made it so clear a number of times on this programme. A number of times.
Look at this man's face. He knows he's being called out. He's being berated on live public television on one of Britain's biggest breakfast shows. Like, that is the face of a man who knows he's in the wrong. He's got nothing.
Times. And I understand that you've got a personal relationship with Meghan Markle, or had one, and she cut you off. She's entitled to cut you off if she wants to. Has she said anything about you since she cut you off? I don't think she has, but yet you continue to trash her.
OK, I'm done with this.
No.
Sorry, no. Sorry.
Do you know what? That's pathetic.
You can trash me, mate, but not my own stuff.
No.
See you later.
I'm being...
Sorry, can't do
This
this.
is absolutely diabolical behaviour.
And you see kind of how fragile Piers is as a human being when Meghan Markle took this sort of abuse for months on end, and then she eventually decided, Prince Harry decided to leave the country, all right, over, the amount of abuse and, things she got, and especially since, his mum suffered the same from the media and from the royal family, where they did not defend her at all. So Piers Morgan here quitting after what, 2 minutes of rough questioning. He couldn't even handle that, and he's gone after Princess Meghan so much. It's embarrassing, honestly.
I'm sorry, but Piers spouts off on a regular basis, and we all have to sit there and listen. 6:30 to 7 o'clock yesterday was incredibly hard to watch.
Especially when he gets a bunch of dudes, white dudes, to talk about this when they can't relate to a woman of colour who's been racially abused. It doesn't make sense. And then whenever anyone does hit back against Piers, he's always shouting and stuff. His kind of attacks on the Conservative government, they're fine. Because, one, they're in positions of power. They've decided to take these positions of power, and they have control over the country, right? And the difference there is, I thought Piers did it, to be a decent journalist and to actually hold the powerful accountable. But realistically, I was stupid, and he's done it for fame. Because he's gone quiet on them and he's been attacking the royal family, because that's what gets him clicks. This clip here has got almost 4 million views. Piers loves it. We cut to another video of another gentleman being called out here, and we see how fragile this man is.
Themselves. Can I ask you about those headlines again? The Star asked whether Harry would be marrying into gangster royalty.
I'm not.
That's because Princess Meghan is obviously mixed race. She's she's not white. So, that's why they're asking that question there. What are gangsters and that sort of family in Britain associated with? Black people. It's a dog whistle. This dog whistle racism right there.
I'm going to defend one headline.
Sorry, Mr. Murray, you just told me, excuse me, please.
This is great work from Victoria Derbyshire here. This is brutal stuff, what you're about to see here.
May I speak? Please, may I ask the question?
Huge amount of coverage.
Mr. Murray, you can continue talking over me. But I want
2 examples and say, look, here's something that someone might point to and say, so therefore that means that...
This guy's in charge of the press, in charge of the Editors UK or something like that, which is some sort of powerful news group. I don't know specifics.
No, you told me, Mr. Murray, you told me the British tabloid press was not bigoted. I've just given you some examples. You're denying that those examples are racist, and I'm asking, why are you denying that?
Well, and I'm making the plain to Victoria that what we're saying, I'm not defending individual things here and there. I'm looking at the whole thing. When you say that someone might make one comment about something, and I'm not saying whether those were bigoted or racist at all.
I wonder why you won't tell us if they were racist or not.
Well, let me ask you, as the Society of Editors...
I never get the chance to actually finish, Victoria, my point. When you actually label someone as bigoted because of one example that is disputed, and actually say, and not taking the...
It's very hard to dispute it. The only people who dispute it are racist people or stupid people. Let's be serious, dude.
The whole thing in the context and saying, look at the way that they have covered it. I'm afraid that's the... if you keep on looking, you will find that needle in the haystack.
Right, but you just told me that the British press isn't racist, and now you're saying if you keep on looking, you will find a racist needle in the haystack. So
Burn.
Let me ask you again. Are those headlines racist? Simple yes or no.
I'm not going to stand to defend and say whether they are not. What the context is.
Well, the Society of Editors.
Sorry, Victoria, you know full well, because you are a journalist, you've got to see the context.
Well, let me give you some context.
This defence here is just embarrassing. And the thing is, right, if I were him, I would turn around, I would look in that mirror and think, am I proud of the person I am? Because I wouldn't be if I was this dude right here. Honestly, you know, we see here, this is the real reason why William won't defend Prince Harry. The sense of embattlement has been entrenched by William's decision to reach out to senior figures in the media as he prepares for kingship, and by the apparent decision of those same newspapers to side with the palace over Meghan and Harry by peddling the most negative coverage of the Duchess's relationship with her father, Thomas Markle. Harry sees that as part of the headwinds against him. So what Prince William has done is he said to the media, look, you know, we'll give you exclusives, you know, all that stuff. You know, we won't go after you for the coverage of my younger brother and his pregnant wife. Okay, we won't go after you for those things, and in exchange, you give us good coverage, you leave us alone, you give us positive press, etc. And so this is, you know, you're a bad older brother. Let me put it that way, because you don't understand your role as an older brother fundamentally if you will not stand up for your younger brother. If you will not do this, it shows you how bad a human being Prince William is, and how stupid the system of monarchy is. Considering this guy should not be king. I do not want a person as a figurehead of this country who will not stand up for his family. That is not what I want to see. And the bare minimum he could do is come in and try and diffuse the situation. That's the bare minimum he could do. But he's decided not to do that because he wants that positive press for, you know, his tenure as the King of England. Essentially, you know, this is just a joke, absolute joke. You know, we go, you know, Piers Morgan being criticised by mental health charity over, you know, Meghan comments where, you know, Princess Meghan said, you know, her mental health was declining, you know, she needed to seek help, the palace stopped it. And then Piers Morgan saying, oh, you know, how could she talk about mental health? There are so many people who've had it worse during this pandemic. That's true, mate. It's true. But at the same time, you know, the pressures that individual people deal with is far different. You know, you had 2 minutes of criticism, then you walked off your show, mate. You know, any other person could have dealt with that, but you personally could not deal with that. And that's how individual people are. Some people can't deal with the stress and pressure that comes with certain things, especially since she had no real idea of what she was getting into. You know, the tabloids, you know, they've even admitted that the tabloid racism is a large part of why they left the UK, that his wife was getting constant racist abuse from the press, you know, and he's seen the damage the press can do to his own mum. He's seen that firsthand. So he knows the kind of abuse and pressure they're going to be put under year after year. It's never going to stop because of who these people are. So yeah, you know, it just shows you that kind of, you know, I think it's got a, you know, people talk about male fragility and all that stuff, but you know, when you look at these sorts of clips here, you know, it does show you how fragile some people are out there, some men are out there, where they can dish it out. You know, Piers Morgan constantly going after Meghan Markle all the time, and he gets a bit of criticism back. You know, gets a bit of criticism back that, you know, she cut him off, she doesn't want to speak to him anymore. Is it because of the way, you know, he said things on TV, or is it just a natural progression of two people whose lives have gone different directions? And he's unhappy about that. Trump cut Piers Morgan off after Piers Morgan gave him some mild criticism, and Piers was upset about that. You know, it does show you how fragile people are, and, you know, I am getting bored of covering, you know, the royal family and all this stuff, but at the same time, I think it's important to call out the press, because we've seen them do it to other people like Raheem Sterling. You know, and they will get their chance at Rashford, no doubt, because after all of Rashford's heroics over, you know, free school meals and all that stuff, we will see some of that stuff come back at him, no doubt, and other, you know, black footballers or other minority footballers. You know, the press are always out to get people. You know, they don't care, and this is just, you know, I want to see this one more time. I'm sorry.
And she cut you off. She's entitled to cut you off if she wants to. Has she said anything about you since she cut you off?
Oh, that's, you know, Piers Morgan, a guy who kind of fawned over Meghan Markle when she was first on the scene, saying, Meghan Markle, I need to get me one of those. Bit creepy, mate.
I don't think she has, but yet you continue to trash her.
OK, I'm done with this.
No.
Sorry, no. Sorry.
Do you know what? That's pathetic.
You can trash me, maybe not my own.
No.
See you later.
I'm being...
Sorry, can't do this.
This is absolutely diabolical behaviour. I'm sorry, but Piers spouts off on a regular basis, and we all have...
Well, this video is going to get hit with a copyright claim, but it's been worth it just to bring you guys this quote-unquote news. And, you know, I try to give you guys the serious stuff, but sometimes just it has to be done. It has to be done, guys. Anyways, I'm going to leave it there. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one.